Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I hope you are having a great day. In today's stories, OP has spent the last years doing everything he could to support his stepdaughter, giving her everything her bio dad didn't, financially and emotionally. But on the day before her wedding, she reveals something that makes OP's world crash. My stepdaughter wants her real dad to give her away. My stepdaughter will be getting married on August 3rd. The wedding planning has consumed most of her and her mother's life for the past 6 months. I say her mother because we aren't married, though we've lived together for 10 years. My stepdaughter graduated last December from university. I paid for her to go to college, though it was a state school, it still ran $40,000. She does not have a job, and has been living with us for the duration of her college career and since her graduation. I also bought her a car to get back and forth from school when she finished high school. From time to time, her deadbeat father would pop into her life and she would fawn all over him. Although he has not contributed a cent to her education or paid any child support, though that is my girlfriend's fault as child support was not part of the settlement. She still loves him and wants him in her life. He stays long enough to break her heart by skipping town and breaking some promise that he made her. The wedding venue holds 250 people max. I gave them a list of 20 people that I wanted invited, since I was paying for everything. They told me that was no problem and they'd take care of it, so I let these people know they'd be getting an invite and they should save the date. Saturday, I saw one of my friends on this list at the golf course and asked if he was coming. He told me that he wasn't invited. He told me that he got an announcement, but not an invitation. He had it in his back seat, along with probably 6 months of mail, and showed it to me. Sure enough, it was just an announcement, and my name was nowhere on it. It had her dad's name and her mom's name and not mine. This led to a pretty big fight with my girlfriend, as I found out that 9 of my list of 20 made the cut for the final guest list, because, quote, 250 people is very tight. I was pissed, but not a hell of a lot I could do, because the important people in my life had already been offended. My girlfriend said, if some people didn't RSVP, yes, I might be able to get a couple people in. But that is an ultimate slap in the face, in my opinion. So, I was boiling on Saturday. Yesterday, we had a Sunday dinner with the future in-laws family and us, and a surprise guest, the real dad. At this little dinner, my stepdaughter announced that her, quote, real dad was going to be able to make it to her wedding, and that now he'd be able to give her away. This was greeted with a chorus of, oh how great, and, how wonderful. I don't think I have ever felt so angry and so disrespected. I was shaking. I took a few seconds to gather my composure, because I honestly wasn't sure if I would cry or start throwing punches or both. Once I was sure I'd be able to speak, I got up from my chair and said I'd like to make a toast. I can't remember exactly what I said, but the gist of it was this. I'd like to make a toast. The sound of spoons against glasses rings in my ears. It has been my great pleasure to be a part of this family for the past 10 years. Aw, how sweet. At this point in my life, I feel I owe a debt of gratitude to the bride and groom, because they have opened my eyes to something very important. Confident smiles exchanged. They have shown me that my position in this family is not what I once thought it was. And now a glimmer of confusion and shock begins to spread on the faces in the room. Though I once thought of myself as the patriarch or godfather of the family, commanding great respect and sought out for help in times of need, it seems instead that I hold the position of an ATM, good for a stream of money, but not much else. As I have been replaced as host, both on the invitations and in the ceremony, I am resigning my financial duties as host to my successor, aka real dad. So cheers to the happy couple and the path they have chosen. I finished my drink. You all can let yourselves out. Is this selfish? I'm supposed to shell out 40-50 grand for a wedding that I can't invite anyone to? That I am not a part of? I'm so done with this crap. I'm done with my stepdaughter. I'm done with my girlfriend. I transferred the money out of our joint account last night. She has not had a job since she moved in with me. This morning I called all the vendors I had written checks for deposits to refund my money. At the moment, it looks like I'll lose around $1,500 for the venue, but the other vendors have been great about refunding. Too long, didn't read. You want your, quote, real dad to be on the invitation, to give you away, and to sit at the head table? Fine, your real dad can pay for everything too. Oh my god OP, it was wonderful. You handled this whole situation beautifully. I don't know how you could have handled it better. I mean, you could have made that decision the moment you found out they cut your guests from the list, when you were the one paying for everything, but what you said was amazing. Either these people are very entitled or very stupid. You were paying for everything, even though it was their wedding. If you wanted, the final word on everything, including the guest list, was yours, and it ended up being that way. These people are leeches, and for them you were just a bank that they had no problem using the money as and when they wished. But unfortunately, for you, they were your family. I'm so sorry OP, even though it's hard right now, getting rid of these people is a blessing for your life. But, the only part that I think you're somewhat at fault for is regarding your stepdaughter. No, I don't think it was wrong of you to stop paying for her wedding, but unfortunately, in your expectation that she would choose you over her father, aka real dad. You didn't talk much about the relationship between you two in the post. We know that you did everything you thought a father should do. You did everything for her that her father didn't do. You were there when he wasn't there. You gave her everything she needed and more. You acted like her father, and that's very noble of you, but you never said if she considered you as her dad. Or to her, were you just her mother's boyfriend who gave her everything she wanted? I agree that for everything you did for her over the years, in addition to paying for the wedding, you deserved a prominent place in the wedding, even the title of father of the bride, but if she didn't see you as her father, it wouldn't make a difference. If she saw you as a father figure, she could have asked that both of you would walk her down the aisle, even as a way of thanking you, but she made it clear that he is her only dad, and you are just her mom's boyfriend, but who she doesn't see a problem in spending all his money. These people suck. And what did you guys think of this situation? What did you think of OP's toast? Would you have done the same as him? Or do you think he was wrong? Don't forget to leave your thoughts down below. Now let's read the comments before going to the update. You handled that beautifully. I'm a young woman with both a real dad and stepdad in my life that I love very much. I've often wondered which would walk me down the aisle. My two dads hate each other, so I worry about offending the other. Would you have felt better if she asked the both of you to walk her down the aisle? As in one dad on each arm? Your situation is probably different than ours. If real dad has contributed time and money to raising you throughout your life, as shared in alleviating the anguish that is bringing up a teenage girl rather than contributing to it, then you should be fine. Ask them both to meet you, ask them to do it as a favor to you, no man could refuse that. I would have been even angrier. You paid for her college, you were going to pay for her wedding, and they couldn't even do the bare minimum of inviting your 20 people? That is just pure disrespect toward you. I would get out of that toxic environment right away. It is completely appropriate, it's the natural consequences of their actions. Now you can contact your friends that they offended and let them know, and mend those fences. Please see a lawyer ASAP, search common law, marriage laws in your state. Make sure you are protected from these leeches. Sir, I respect the stance you have taken and find it disgusting that you would be treated this way after 10 years. Best of luck to you. And what about you guys? Do you agree with the comments? Would you have advised anything else to OP? Don't forget to leave your comments down below. Now let's go to the updates. Update 1. The immediate aftermath was a tantrum and people sitting there mumbling, while not actually saying anything to me, but to each other. After much yelling with girlfriend about me being selfish, I spent the night in my home office and no one knocked on my door, not once. Today's aftermath is kind of depressing for me. Girlfriend brought me bride's wedding planner to show me how much work I was ruining. I thumbed through it, found a page in the music section for father-daughter dances, all of the songs were catered to real dad's taste. Before, I thought they were just being disrespectful, but now I'm feeling like they never really gave a crap at all, especially since the menu included 2 ingredients I'm allergic to that actually made me laugh. Oh my god. Either way, I'm glad to be done. I returned the planner and asked her when she and bride could move out. Also, I never offered to pay for the wedding. I offered them the use of my home when they were sure it was going to be small, but then, all I've heard is how it's the bride's family that should pay. So, let it be the bride's family then, aka, not me. So OP didn't want to pay for the wedding, but because of pressure from others he gave in, because the bride's family should pay for the wedding, and he was, quote, the father of the bride? Good God. And not only they didn't invite his friends, they wanted him to have an allergic reaction at a party he was paying for? These people really suck. And what about you guys? What do you guys think about this situation? Do you agree with what OP is doing? Or do you think he is being petty? Don't forget to leave your thoughts down below. Oh, and I hope you are enjoying the video so far. If so, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications to know when a new video is out. Now let's go to the last update. Final update. Girlfriend and bride are now moved out. They are moving in with the groom. Lucky guy. It was very hard not to be petty with some of the belongings they took with them, but it's done, and I switched out the locks and now it's time for a brew. I can't believe how popular this story got, but I feel good to be given support by so many. If I find out what happens with the wedding, I will let you know, but I can't guarantee that I will put in the effort to find out. From what I've heard they are trying to, quote, scale things back and get his parents to help out. Girlfriend burned bridges. When I found out she tried to write herself a check on our joint account the day after the unpleasantness, but by then I had already moved money. So I guess I'm a bigger ass than her, but I could feel it coming. That's all, thanks. You were not ass OP, you were smart. This woman wanted to steal the rest of your money, you just stopped it from happening. And since we haven't had any more updates, I think this wedding didn't happen. Of course OP could have chosen not to know anything more about his ex, her daughter or the wedding, or he could have chosen not to update anything else, but I really think the wedding didn't happen. I think the groom and his family couldn't handle the bride and her mother, and the wedding was cancelled. And what do you guys think happened? Do you think they got married or not? Don't forget to leave your comments down below. Now let's finish the video with a malicious compliance. Employees should listen to your friend instead of the boss? Okay. This wasn't my malicious compliance, but my friend, who I work with. We'll call her Amy. Relevant information, we work at a large grocery store, and Amy is a team lead. Team leads are often asked to go to different departments and help out. However, because our department is usually incredibly busy, it can't be left completely without a guide. Because of this, every day, my department has one of the regular employees designated as an acting team lead, ATL, for when the team leads need to leave or get busy. Our department manager, Taylor, has a bad habit of playing favorites with some of the employees she's friends with. This includes ignoring when they break the rules, giving them more flexibility with the schedule and time off, etc. She also tends to try to replace the scheduled ATL with one of her friends, often putting Mark in charge instead. Yesterday, Amy came into work and asked one of the employees, Sarah, to do something for her. Sarah said yes and started the task. After a few minutes, Mark came up to her and asked her to do something else. Sarah told him that she couldn't, because she was already doing what Amy had asked her to do. He left, and she figured that was that. An hour or so later, both Amy and Sarah get pulled into Taylor's office to talk. Taylor told Sarah that she should have listened to Mark, because he was the ATL. Amy pointed out that he was not the ATL on the schedule, and Taylor told her that she had told Mark he could be the ATL. Taylor doubled down and said that Sarah should have listened to him, instead of finishing what Amy had asked her to do. Amy was understandably irritated by this, so she decided that since Mark was apparently in charge over her, she would leave him to it. She took Sarah with her and went to help the produce department, who had been requesting help, instead of going back to our department. On a normal day, this may have been fine, however, it was a Saturday, and we are always insanely busy on the weekends. It took all of 30 minutes, before the department had crazy high customer wait times, and things were falling apart. I had just clocked out and was talking to Amy before I left, when the following exchange happened. Taylor radioed Amy to ask her why there were such high wait times in the department. Without missing a beat, Amy answered to tell her, "I don't know, I'm not back there, but Mark is. He should know." Suddenly, Mark, quote, wasn't in charge of the department, and Taylor told Amy that she needed her to get back there to run things. Amy told her that she'd be right back there, then promptly told me that she'd be finishing stocking the cart she had before she went back, which was not even halfway done. I laughed and went home. I can only imagine that the department was in chaos, given how it usually is on the weekends, and it reflects very poorly on Taylor when we have high wait times. I guess the actual team lead should have been in charge after all. Yeah, OP, you're right. Agree, the actual team lead should be in charge. Don't you think so too? And that's it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, go watch the video that is appearing on the screen right now or click on one of our playlists that are in the description to watch more videos. Until next time.